guys, what's up? Shin0525 here, coming at you with another video. And today's video, I want to talk about realistic graphics. I'm talking about photorealistic graphics that we're getting with, like PlayStation 5, modern gaming, and, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, before the video starts, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I should say that in the beginning more. Because it does help out. Other than that, let's talk about realistic graphics. So, what I have to say about photorealistic graphics is, if you want a way to date your game, make it photorealistic. And here's what I mean by that. Personally, like, doing photorealism is hard. Because, again, it takes a lot of technical knowledge, a lot of like artistic, like the 3D modeling and things like that, to make characters look like realistic. And it takes animation and then the right lighting. There's a bunch of very expensive factors that go into making a game look photorealistic, and if you want to do it, it's going to cost a ton of time, it's going to cost a ton of money. And honestly, I just don't think it's worth it. Because when you focus on making a game photorealistic, you date it. You date it because of the technology you made it on. So, like, for example, I remember when Final Fantasy 13 came out. I honestly thought that game looked like real life when it came out. Again, I got, like, my PlayStation 3 rather late, and Final Fantasy 13 was one of the games I really wanted to get when, I got my PlayStation 3, so I was going off PlayStation 2 games, and then I got Final Fantasy 13 on PlayStation 3, and I genuinely thought they did it. They nailed photorealistic graphics. Graphics are never going to look this good, and that was back when that game, like, first came out. Now when you look at Final Fantasy 13, especially, like, the PlayStation 3 version I played, it looks like a PS3 game. It looks like a very good PS3 game, but it looks like a PlayStation 3 game. And compared to today's standards with, like, the PlayStation 5 and games like God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us, it's dated. It's seriously dated. You look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is an HD video game. Probably looks like on the PS3 in the case of, like, Final Fantasy 13. But at the time, I thought it looked photorealistic, and a lot of people did. But that's the thing, is, like, I guarantee you, 10 years down the line, when we have games like God of War Ragnarok, The Last of Us, Uncharted, these, like, super hyper-realistic, basically, like, Sony movie games, and it's just, like, they're going to be dated 10 years from now, because they're going to look like really good PlayStation 5 games. And, that's the problem with doing photorealism, is you limit yourself and you date the game based on the technology that you're building it with. Because again, the technology is always going to improve. They're going to do things that make it look even more realistic through, like, lighting or some rendering options, or like, someone very smart somewhere is going to come up with some crazy shit that's going to make the games that look good right now look like shit 10 years down the road. Maybe even sooner than that. So again, when I see these big game companies, especially like Sony, because Sony really tried to push the single player movie games, it's just like, I look at these games, I'm like, they're going to be dated. Like, even though they look great now, you are dating yourself 10 years down the line. And again, it's like, it must be working for them, because again, Sony's making a ton of money with PlayStation. People love these games. So I'm not saying they're doing something wrong. I'm just saying you date yourself when you make like, photorealistic games. And honestly, in my personal opinion, I think games that age way better is when they're stylized. Like, for example, Wind Waker on the GameCube looks fucking fantastic. Even today, it looks just as good, and it's because of the cel-shaded graphics. Same with Jet Set Radio. That game just looks so fucking good. Yeah, and even, like, not even just, like, cel-shaded games like Mirror's Edge still looks great today, and it's because of the stylization that they did with that game. Especially, like, Mirror's Edge, like, the color schemes, the way they set up the cities, Just overall, the style of that game looks fantastic, and it still holds up today. I actually played Mirror's Edge like, I don't know, like a year or two ago, like the first one, and it still looked great. It actually blew me away with how good the game looked. So yeah, no, definitely. And again, it's just like whenever I see these games coming out when they have like hyper photorealistic graphics, it's just like, I wish you made it stylized. It would have a much better impact, or not impact, but it would last longer, especially graphically, if you made games more stylized than photorealistic. And I think it would work out better for the game in the long run. Because again, when you have like a very stylized look, it usually tends to be cheaper. Because again, photorealism is very expensive to do. Because when you go for that photorealistic look, you have to make it look right. Because if it looks off, it looks bad. So you really have to nail that photorealism. You have to like really commit to it, and that's very expensive. But if you take a game like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk that came out last year, that game will look as good as it does today 10 years from now, because of how stylized it is. And again, I really think game companies, and I think like AAA would benefit a lot more by, instead of focusing on hyper-realistic graphics, doing stylized graphics, putting some like flair into it. Like, yeah, and it doesn't have to be like crazy flair. Again, like Mirror's Edge looks great. It's not like too crazy style. It's not like Persona 5, but it does have a stylized look to it where it just looks good. Even today, Mirror's Edge 1 looks good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my thoughts on... Oh, I'm getting a Digimon battle. Those are my thoughts. Oh, I'm fighting Skull Greymon! Oh, I fucking love Skull Greymon. Oh, look, it's Skull... One second. It's Skull Greymon. Ah, awesome. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. I gotta go fight Skull Greymon. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.